life that He is that living, breathing, powerful, almighty God.
So tell me about him.
Jesus is like the most amazing, incredible God you'll ever meet in your life. And first, when you think of God, you think of like someone on a white fluffy cloud. He's just sitting up there with a harp, maybe some random angels around them. But when you really get to know who Jesus is and when you get to know who God is, you realize that He is an intimate Savior who knows you intimately. He knows all the hairs on your head, and He's counted all these stars and knows them all by name. And in the same way, He knows who you are, and He knew you before you were even born. And that's how I like to see God, as not just some airy fairy person in the sky. It's a living, breathing God who loves you beyond what you could ever imagine and just desires to have a relationship with you.
What was your opinion of Jesus before you met him?
So I grew up in a Christian family, and for me, my parents would always talk about God being their Lord, His Lord, and their Savior. And my brother and sister are older than me, and they felt the same way. But for me, I didn't see God that way. I didn't see Him as someone who was personally my Savior. I saw Him very distant, and I didn't think He was big enough to handle the pain I was going through at that time. I didn't see Him as someone who even cared. And I just kind of saw Him like, He's everyone else's God, and He's not my God. He's not someone who I can trust. He's not someone who I know. And I just didn't believe a lot of what was said about Him. It was more of other people's faith than it was mine. And so for me, I was very skeptical. I was very much just like, oh yeah, He's just another person, and He doesn't even exist, or maybe He's just part of the creation. I mean, who is this God that people talk about? So I was very skeptical. Who is He to me now? Completely different. He's everything. I've gotten to know over the years that He's not just my God. He's not just my King. He's not just my Savior. He's my Father. He is my husbandman. He is my comforter. He's my reason to breathe. He's my reason to get up and go to work every day. And I've learned that over the years through calling on His name and Him being there, and Him not just showing up and rescuing me from situations, but giving me the strength to keep going, giving me the reason to move forward. And I've learned over the years that Paul talks about Him being the God that raises the dead, and I now know in my life that He is that living, breathing, powerful, mighty God that we don't think about until something happens when we call on Him and He saves us. So for me, He is my everything now, and He is, I wouldn't be here without Him.